name's Thomas. I'm a former police detective and I'm now an investigator, and I work across lots of cases reviewing murder investigations, disappearances, and that's what's brought me here. I've been in contact with the family and they specifically asked me, very gratefully, if I could come up and have a look. And Peter Faulding is a very close friend of mine and we've worked very closely together over the last few days.
Welcome to the Running Red podcast. Hopefully there won't be any blood in this live. How are we all today? With another new mic. It's an old mic actually, but I've got the extension bit and everything else. We're getting there very slowly, but it's happening. Okay. Yeah, you can hear me. You must have been able to hear me because you said hi. Hold on. So we're going to start with a gentle icebreaker again. It's going to be a corny icebreaker, actually. Put down in the comments your favourite, not your favourite food, your favourite actor. I was going to say your favourite content creator, but I know you've got your different favourites for different cases, we hope. I'm only saying that because I wouldn't get named. I might do. At least 2 or 3 people might. Brilliant. Okay, so today, hopefully I'm going to stick to an hour. It was going to be 30, but I think I can eke out an hour. Now, there was talk of Peter Faulding going to the MP, etc. I haven't heard any movement on that at the moment. I suppose it's too soon anyway. And the police are probably ignoring him. Break the Ice is covering that. I didn't want to tread on his toes and start playing his videos and going over the ground that he's gone over. Mel Gibson, classic. I remember the first Mad Max. That was probably his best Mad Max. It got all stupid after number 3, beyond the Thunderdome. Yeah, got a bit mad then. Tom Hardy played a good one. Tom Hardy, actually, I'll go for Tom Hardy. I like Tom Hardy. John Altman. There's 2 John Altmans. There's John Altman on Please Sir. Do you remember that film with Lulu in the 60s? And there's another John Altman. John Altman. There's another John Altman who played Doc Cotton's son. What was his name in EastEnders? Enders. I did have a look around the set on Enders. Can't remember. He was John Altman, funny enough. I don't know another John Altman. There might be 3. Alan Rickman, brilliant actor. Yeah. No one else going for a Tom Hardy. Are you going for the old ones? Something like, now if you say Laurence Olivier, it didn't float my boat. They say he's the greatest English actor. No, he's not. Ben Kingsley. I've met Ben Kingsley. I don't know him well. He's not a friend, but I just met him, as you do. Say hello at the coffee machine. Yeah, great actor. I liked him in Sexy Beast, although that film probably isn't everyone's cup of tea. Bit of a man type of film. Going to be accused of being sexist now, aren't I? But yeah, Ben Kingsley, good one in Gandhi, and also very versatile. Only a little fella, brilliant. Who else have we got? Hi Maggie. Hope your dog is well. Hope your dog's not scrolling the page like last time. Mads Mikkelsen. Is that an actor or is that somebody in the chat? Who is that? Don't know them. Yeah. Danny DeVito. Yeah, Danny DeVito. What, in Twins? I remember him in Taxi. Showing my age all the time, really. Taxi, brilliant. Ollie Reed. Yeah, Ollie Reed. I think he lived in Surrey, didn't he? Somewhere. Is it somewhere there? Yeah, a bit of a character, wasn't he, Oliver Reed? Good rugby player. Was a good rugby player. And a boxer as well. Boxing, amateur boxing. Speaking of boxing, we all know that Rocky won. I'll say no more because he was doing good. He did have an opponent that perhaps was lower standard, shall we say. I don't want to diss him. Steve the Cockney, hi there. Hey, Steve, who's your favourite actor, mate? You're going to say Ray Winston because you're a Cockney. Possibly. Other Cockneys. We've got, who's the gangster? The Long Good Friday. Bill. What's his surname? Bill somebody, wasn't it? He was great. Okay, chat's building up. So what I'm going to do tonight is there are loads more red flags to discuss in the Nicola Bulley case. I wanted to go through some of those. So hopefully if it works, I've got a couple of videos for you to look at. And I've also got some photographs as well. So who's the gangster on the Long Good Friday? Bill, is it Hoskins? Bob Hoskins. Bob Hoskins. He was good, wasn't he? Little fella, but he had presence and everything else. Brilliant. Yeah. The opponent, Maggie, the opponent, Rocky's opponent, didn't even try. His just ability was a bit lacking, so he didn't have the straight punches, the combinations and that. He was just winging around, throwing lefts and rights, and Rocky was doing uppercuts, etc., and going downstairs, upstairs. So, yeah, certainly knew his stuff. It's smaller than I thought, but if you're in shape, you're light, and when you're fighting, aren't you? And you put on sometimes about 5-10 kilos when you're not fighting. I'm only getting this from a brother who used to fight, not me, of course. Mild-mannered. Most of the women in the chat would knock me on my backside, to be honest. West Ham. That's a football club. That's not an actor. Oh, I can't keep up the chat. There we go. So, Nicola Bulley. So, we'll get straight into it. So, what I wanted to go into first, one was Peter Faulding. So, Peter Faulding had this issue with the police, didn't he? So, the police wouldn't let him do anything, basically, as it went on. And he sort of turned up. And did you see my intro? He was a friend of Mark Williams Thomas. Mark Williams Thomas said Peter Faulding was a friend of his. It was the family. It was actually Paul, I believe, who got him into it. We also want to talk about the caravan park. Did you know that wasn't searched until 2 weeks after she went missing? Am I right? Put down in the comments, because I have done some research. I've done loads of reading, actually, over the weekend, as well as having a birthday on Friday, having 2 birthday meals. I'm greedy. One was a curry, which I like hot and spicy. Right. So, the caravan park, 2 weeks, and the fiery temper of the caravan owner. Let's get her up on there. So that's Penny, I believe. What an animated picture that is. Shows everything. Fiery temper. Some saying she may have had an altercation with Nicola. And I don't know who this guy is. If anyone knows the guy behind, put down in the chat. Is he related? And we've got the policeman there. That is courtesy of DJE Media. I won't say no more at the moment. He's getting a hard time, but don't want to go into that for the reasons why. But he's like an auditor, and he went to the caravan park at the time when it was all kicking off. Another thing that I wanted to discuss with you, Penny's grandson. Okay, yeah, I've heard of him when I was covering the case about a year or so ago, his grandson. And DJ Media, the auditor, he showed up on the caravan park, and then she just said, get lost, basically, kicked him off. He was trespassing, though, which is a civil offence. That's why the police can't really do anything, but unless they can kind of prove he was disturbing the peace, which kind of, in a way, she was kicking off, but she didn't have any nonsense. What I also want to discuss with you as well is the attitude or the calmness of Paul, her partner, and also Emma White, her friend. Her sister didn't strike me as being calm or anything else. She seemed pretty normal in interviews I've watched with her. But if I play a video of Emma, I just want to know what you think. This video is, we've got one here. This is a minute and 5. I'm just going to play this. You might have to turn your sound down, or I think it probably down, because it's probably quite loud, but we'll go for this. So I'll just play this, and then afterwards you tell me what you think.
So today, it's 2 weeks since Nikki has gone missing, so the police are crying out for any information on this gate and this part of the road, which is Garstang Road and St Michael's on Wire. As I said today, I'm almost feeling a little bit numb today. 2 weeks on, but we still have that hope that today will bring something and we can bring those girls home to Paul and bring Nikki home. Nikki can't crumble as well when mum is missing. Paul's got to remain very strong for them, but it's taking each day as it comes. Obviously, we keep it normality, the children at school. So Paul has that downtime to sadly think and reflect on what's going on.
Are you happy with the police investigation, the way it's going?
And to comment on the efforts that the police and like Peter are doing. I mean, it was obviously Peter cemented the work that the police have done and can confirm that she's not in the river from the bench to the weir. It's just a different line of inquiry to give them something that they can go on and bring Nikki home. So today, it's 2 weeks since Nikki has gone missing, so the police are crying out for any information on this gate and this part of the road, which is Garstang Road and St.
Yeah. So, what did you think? What did you think of her persona and the way she held herself? If I was doing that interview 2 weeks after my best friend had gone missing, I'd probably still be really emotional. I don't know whether it's a nervous thing or not, but she was kind of smiling as well a lot in that video. I don't know whether anyone else picked that up. Have you put down in the comments whether she was or not? I played it frame by frame, and there are a lot of smiles that was going on. Let's also address in the comments about the caravan site being searched. So Yura said, anyone that believes the caravan wasn't searched for 2 weeks, let's put that one up, is gullible. So that's what I've read off the information that I got that's readily available. So you're saying it was. So I got that wrong. That's fair enough. That's the trouble. That's the amazing that the news puts out something different, and that was mainstream news that puts out something different than everyone else, and then it's got a knock-on effect. I would have thought that it was, wouldn't you? I would have thought the whole area was searched if they were looking for a missing person. Perhaps they mean that it was searched as in such they went and saw Penny, they went and had a look around, but they didn't thoroughly search and perhaps take forensics. Why would they? It's just a missing person. Would they go to the school and start taking forensics? No, they'd probably go back to the school and have a good search around, wouldn't they? So let's have a look. She was all dolled up. Yeah, well, she would be, I suppose, for a TV appearance. I always believed it wasn't searched until later. Again, it's the information, isn't it? We just don't know. So she was lapping up the publicity, Maggie. Yeah, it's strange though, isn't it? Why would you lap up publicity because of that? If we go on to Paul, and he's had quite a few interviews, and he's sort of also smiling as well. I'll just get this one. I mean, yeah, he's smiling, but when you catch people, they can do strange things, can't they? It was just odd. I'll tell you my thoughts on it, and yeah, not everyone is emotional, Gail. It's just my initial feeling when I first heard him call the police, and a lot of people would be really distraught. I'm quite calm, but I'd be quite on edge, emotional, probably angry. I'd be, the tone would go up and everything else. I'd be frantic. And when I was talking about it afterwards, it's like my dog passed away, also my mum passed away, both of them. I'd be emotional. I'd probably break down, to be honest, if it was my loved one and, you know, wasn't sure what happened to her at the time. I'd be emotional. So people then put two and two together of Emma not being overly emotional and Paul, and they're saying, well, there's something going on, but we can't say that, can we really? But it just smacks of, that's why people start thinking in a suspicious way, especially into true crime, and we think, did they have something to do with it? The argument at the beginning when the child said, Mummy and Daddy, you're always arguing on that video. Also want to talk about Paul mentioning where she had depression, and he had to throw this into the conversation. Then he later said, no, she was all right. She was making plans, and the depression wasn't bothering her. So he threw that in, and then he withdrew it. Then he got a load of stick from people, didn't he? So you're going to try and change your persona and the way you're dealing with things, and you're going to try and show more emotion. I would. If people were accusing me of all sorts, I'd say, look, I'm sorry, this is the way I deal with it. I've got a nervous laugh. Don't know what you think. It's difficult to accuse people. If they're in front of you, it's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? Especially when they're upset and things. We can all say things, but yeah, it did strike me. The sister, it was just very different the way that I could see the sister dealing with it. She seemed more emotional. I just put another video up of Paul briefly. It's only about 10 seconds, about 5 seconds. It just goes into a loop. Just bear with. There we go. So 18 seconds long, this one. Just go through. Yeah, okay. They put that one on a loop just to show that he was laughing and smiling while he was being interviewed. Just a bit strange. Do you find that strange? Anyone at all? Put it down in the comments what you think. Yeah, Gail, you're saying about the bruises. I did look at the autopsy report. Initially, someone said, eye socket and nose were injured. But in the actual report that Adley put out, it was just bruises on the arm. And they're saying, some people said it was caused by the autopsy. I read that it was caused by the water, falling in the water, and it was just light bruising. He said she died, and we've been through this before, of cold water shock. So cold water shock would raise the heart rate, hence the Fitbit. Was had a risen heart rate, and it carried on for a bit. It carried on for quite a bit longer, actually. But when they say this, oh, hi, Jan. Jan's views in. That's great. When they say this, when they say that she died of cold water shock, but she could have died of being pushed in and held under and having an altercation. So cold water shock, but he doesn't know for sure. And even Adley said that. He said that he doesn't know for sure. But he's got to come to some sort of professional conclusion. So he come to the conclusion of cold water shock and drowning. So Peter Faulding also said, I'll just play another clip for you. It won't be too long and too agonising for you. So Peter Faulding said that the police seemed against him straight away. First of all, he found the body on the sonar, and that was recently verified. If you go to Break the Ice and subscribe to him, you can watch his videos. And the police tried to stop him diving afterwards. He said, I better go and have another look. And they gave him a rundown not to talk to the police. They silenced him. So he went there and he said, no, I haven't found anything. The police have dived and they haven't found anything either. So that was placed, the body was placed on the bottom of where the sonar release was. And then about February, 13th to the 18th, there was a strange tide which raised the body. The gases in the body raised the body, and it went over the. There was an obstruction. There was like a rock obstruction. There was also an island there. It's not anymore. And it rose it above that and then dumped it where it was found about a mile down the river. We have a look at that there. So that's the school, that's the bench, and that's eventually where the body was found. So Peter found the body there, and then it floated down the river. I'll just play that video I have of Peter. This one is, I'll give you how long this one is. It is 1 minute long. I might stop it earlier than that, just bear with.
But this operation was a first class, I would say in English language, first class stitch up to I become the single point of blame. As Laura Richards said, I become the fall guy for this whole operation.
Today we'll see the publication of the College of Police's review into our handling of the Nicola Bulley missing person investigation. First and foremost, on behalf of myself and the constabulary, I want to say that our thoughts are with Nicky's family at what must be a very difficult time. I hope by reading that report that Nicola's family can see that we did everything we could do to bring Nicola home to them.
Mark Williams-Thomas. I'm a former police detective and I'm now an investigator, and I work across lots of cases reviewing murder investigations, disappearances, and that's what's brought me here. I've been in contact with the family and they've specifically asked me, very gratefully, if I could come up and have a look. And Peter Faulding is a very close friend of mine and we've worked very closely together over the last few days.
Interesting. Mark Williams-Thomas came on again. It always makes me chuckle when I see that clip of him coming on, and he talks in the same way as he did with Jay Slater, and he knew Peter Faulding. It was just it's just amusing. I put the link in the chat. Jan, when you're ready, you can come and join me as well. And I was talking about that surrounds the caravan park and along the towpath. So it meanders out from a smaller river to a bigger river, where the body was found as such. So loads of dog walkers. You see a dog walker there. I am sorry if you're one of those who know one of those policemen there. I didn't have permission to use their image, really, did I? But it was in the mainstream media, so I guess it's all right. I'll be sued putting their picture up. They look friendly anyway, don't they? Yeah, Savage Shark. Hi, Savage Shark. They did say she had a drinking and alcohol problem, but it was kept under control. They also said that she had a fall about 2 weeks before, and an ambulance was called. Again, suspicious people like me from true crime. We're looking in. Where did she fall? Why did she fall? She probably falled, and then she had to call an ambulance. She wasn't steady on her feet. She had problems with HRT. Obviously, I'm a man, so I don't know an awful lot about that, do I? But it can really set you off. I know that much. Also mixed with alcohol and everything else. It's coming on.
Hi, Al.
Hi. I'm echoing. I'll just alter your settings. Bear with. That should be better now. That's better on my end. Is it okay for you there?
Yeah, I can't hear you. You sound perfectly fine to me anyway.
Great. That's fine.
Sure.
That cured it last time. That cured it again. How are you?
I'm good. I've been very busy.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a bit late.
That's all right. No worries.
I like the way you've got these pictures up now. It sort of makes it easier to tie everything together. So yeah, nice one. Good.
I'm getting there. And you were saying about picture in picture. I thought, what is that? But anyway, I do it that way, and then I'm going to have a good look again. There are lots of videos I can have a look at.
You'll
improve
get
even
there.
more. Yeah, there's a lot on this streaming platform anyway to look at, fiddle around with. Yeah. So, what I was wanting to go into is what you mentioned before is Penny and the caravan park. So Penny was said to have an altercation with dog walkers and with Nicola. What's your understanding of Penny, and do you find it feasible that Nicola may have had this altercation with her? And also, would she have gone near the caravan park herself with the dog, or through it? I've not been there. Is it a through fare to the other side of the road or something?
I'm not too sure whether it's a public thoroughfare. I did see some videos of Penny, who does seem very, shall we say, I was going to say confrontational, also very defensive. And immediately I wondered why. Why would somebody be so offensive or defensive when somebody is asking about the situation? I mean, it's a huge story, and it was a huge story at the time. So for Penny to appear so objectionable, I just thought, those red flags were flying. So, yeah, I don't know whether um, Nicola had any conversations with Penny in the past. I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at what Gail's put. There's at least two entrances. The two men could have been her grandsons. Yes. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. I don't know if any of you saw the video. I actually did do a short, I think, in the week about it, with DJE Media. I don't know if
Yeah,
any.
DJE Media. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did mention him. He's going through the mincer at the moment with a certain offence in the past, but I can't comment because I don't know for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. I must say. Having said that, I think his footage of him going on to the caravan site and being, I don't want to say accosted by, but he received some fairly strong words from Penny, who was not happy with him being on her site. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Lou says she's never heard of him. Okay, I think he's quite a big YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yuna says, are you surprised that Penny would be defensive when she found a person she knew as a convict sneaking around her land? I don't know. Did she know that? I didn't know he was a convict.
What? Oh, yeah, that was the offence that he was accused of. So it was of a sexual nature. So can't
Yes,
say
but
much more than that. But he before that he was an auditor, so a very good one as well, into everything. So he's got that hanging over.
yeah, but that doesn't answer the question of whether or not Penny knew at that time that he was a convict.
No, the police did, because they mentioned it, and that was their way of dropping his guard. So he's one of those auditors who says, well, you can't do much. It's got public access to here. I'm just filming in a public place, etc. And they were like, oh, so-and-so police have reminded us of your, sexual offence. And what it was, the power of lives, like on here, if I say anything and someone clips it, and he forgot about it, so he uploaded it, and they said this, and he kept it on his live, and then he thought, oops, and then he had to delete it afterwards, but it was too late. It was already out there.
Oh, that's interesting. I honestly hadn't heard about that. It's also
Yeah.
quite interesting. Can you read the sign on the gate there that reads, all new arrivals walk down past statics and ring the bell by back door? So her sign
Ah.
that it was private property isn't really the truth, because if she's
It
got that
is.
up, it means that the public can go into or onto that site.
It's pretty. It was secure when he was there, so it was quite a secure site. And she comes straight out and said, "No, off with you, off."
Yeah, it was a secure site. He was able to get into it from
Oh,
the
it
gate.
had public access, but she said, "Oh no, it's private. You shouldn't be in here." But
Yeah,
obviously, the police couldn't do a lot. I think it has to have a firm gate with signs all around before
yeah.
they could probably prosecute it. They wouldn't prosecute him for trespassing. She probably could try, but yeah, it was
I don't think
yeah.
that would go through at all without any form of warning or even stating that it was a private property. I don't think she'd stand a chance. But hey,
No.
but yeah, it's definitely very interesting to find out that he's a convicted convict. Was he convicted? I mean, do you know?
I believe it was a conviction. Yeah, it was a conviction of an old girlfriend.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was a violent act that he committed, but I don't know what. I don't really want to go into it. Other people do,
Go
though.
into it.
It's not, or I could, but it's not. It's a place, isn't it, where people do, especially with an auditor. So they did lay into him. He did explain something, but I'm not sure if he explained it very well because it's there, isn't it?
Okay.
But he's going to carry on. So. Yeah, it's a stressful world out there when you've probably got to be squeaky clean, haven't you, to do that type of work? Even true crime, you've got to be pretty squeaky clean because someone finds out something, it's up there. If they're against you, then it's up there. Luckily, I've got a clear DBS, as you probably have, Jan, as well.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you say squeaky clean, I mean everybody's got a past, but not
Yeah.
everybody has committed crimes. I think there's a difference. So I think being squeaky clean, yeah, it does mean if you have been convicted about something, then be prepared for it to be aired, especially if you're coming on making claims. But hey, that's a different thing. I need to look further into that.
Yeah. So let's have a look at the river. So that's the river. That's the police that were on the actual river at the time. So that would have been probably before Peter arrived. Peter arrived on the Monday, the 6th of February. So from January the 27th to the 6th, Peter hadn't, scanned it with his sonar. He said within 6 hours originally, I think somebody said 6 minutes that he could find the body, but I think within 6 hours he should have been able to find something, which he did. And now I don't know where he's gonna go with this, really. He can put it on social media and we can force the publicity out on it, but it's the police who are going to have to look further into that, and because he said they're lying and everything else. You've watched Break the Ice, haven't you? Some of his videos.
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
and
interesting.
I know also that Break the Ice has actually had Peter Faulding as a guest on his channel.
Yeah.
The only red flag for me is that if Peter Faulding was convinced that that was in fact Nicola in the water, why did he not push further and harder at the police to say, look, I found something, you need to investigate this? It seems to me that he accepted the police's findings, which were nothing, zilch, and then decided to think, oh, okay, then, all right, okay, I didn't find anything. And he says he didn't realise until, was it months later, when he looked at his footage, that in fact, oh, yes, that does appear to be a body under the water. I don't know. It just seems a little bit strange to me.
Yeah, there's a picture of Peter and his sonar. The guy knew what he was talking about. Basically, we could, you could get a number of Premiership. Let's talk sports. So Premiership players on the pitch, and you know that Eric Cantona at the time when he was playing, he was the best guy on the pitch, and they must have known about his reputation. The other divers, police divers, etc., or the police, but they didn't want him to dive after he found this supposed piece of wood. But he said, no, that's got the outline of a body, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, he didn't force himself through, did he? I would have gone back and dived anyway. I would have said, oh, no, I'm just cleaning up, just doing something in the water. And I would have dived down anyway, or sent someone down to the exact spot and then pulled up whatever that was, or just gone down and had a look. So I'm surprised that he did that, and I'm surprised the police didn't let him. What have they got to lose? Why did they not let him dive afterwards?
I don't
understand.
know. I mean, did they just see him as a busybody? I don't know. The guy is very professional. Look at his kit. You can see how professional this guy is. But I can't get out of my head the fact that even though he took this footage, he didn't then examine it for months afterwards. It's like, what? That to me just seems weird. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it didn't happen. It just seems a bit weird to me.
Yeah, he did speak to the press, didn't he? But he believed what the police were saying. He said, I've always trusted the police. And I went to the media and I said to them that, there was no body in that river. And I remember at the time going to work, and we were watching it on the news, and we were just crucifying him, saying, well, where is the body then? If there's no body in the river, where is it? What have you been doing? Because my initial thoughts after I sort of suspected Paul and Emma because of their lack of emotion, I thought that, she's fallen in, or she's committed suicide. And there's the so-called diver, the diver expert, saying there was no body in there. But he was just following the protocol of what the police told him. I bet he wished he hadn't. I bet he wished he pushed for that.
Yeah, I bet.
Jan, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, just a tip, try not to use the S word, try and use the unalived instead.
Did I say?
Word. Yeah, I don't want to say it.
What did I say? Yes.
Yeah, when somebody unalives.
Unalive. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's just
I have had my video in the week. What was it? The video of the guy getting killed in prison. They didn't monetize that for various words that I'd said. So they do. The algorithm picks it up, or YouTube police pick it up.
Honey, you'll learn.
Yeah.
Right, let's have a look at that. Oh, sorry. What did you want to ask me?
What did you think when I played the video of the calmness of Paul and Nicola, and also her sister? If you've seen that one, I've got a video of her as well. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's quite interesting because I watch a lot of body language experts. And I'll give them a plug because they're quite good. They're called the Behavioural Panel, and they talk about true crime, and they look at the body language. And in my unprofessional opinion, I thought their body language gave away quite a lot, specifically the sister, I think. Yeah, most definitely. Also, I think also Paul with the hat on. And where was the grieving husband? I mean, did they interview him after they found her, or was that just before when they were looking?
I think people did both, different, because Sky News was there pretty early. They pounced on it straight away, but it was like 2 weeks before the big kind of interviews, and they had that documentary as well. If you sit through that documentary, I picked up on the previous video of mine over a year ago. of his lack of emotion and the smirking bit, etc. It was just like he was talking a bit of a matter of a fact.
Yeah.
It was strange. And the body being found by Jason, the clairvoyant. So I'm just wondering, I don't want to upset clairvoyance, but I'm just wondering whether he did have a premonition of her being there, or whether he knew that the tides were going to rise on that date and then push the body over over those rocks. The police are kicking themselves because they had never had catch nets. They could have had catch nets and know about this high tide. So if a body was that, if Peter had found the body, it would have risen and they would have caught it with a net rather than going over and a member of the public finding it. So they did say that they kicked themselves about that. I've got a picture of the net.
I'd love to have a conversation with Peter, if only just to go over that particular bit where he says that he didn't look for months after, and it was only when he looked at his footage that he realised that it could indeed have been her. I don't know. That does not ring true to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Janet says, "Hey Janet, how are you?" So Janet says that she followed every story on YouTube. Nikki's husband is a narcissist, a ladies' man. Yeah, I've heard a few things about him. I've also heard just what I've heard, that he had a relationship with Nikki's sister, which is quite interesting.
Yes, I've heard that. I've heard it. I've heard that.
It's quite interesting when you discover that Nikki's sister was actually living at the house. Bit weird. That was that before or after?
Yeah, and I think she denied it as well.
There's also what she denied living there.
Yeah, she denied living there in an article. Again, it's an article again from an established newspaper. But the established newspapers, they also got things wrong. At that time, it was a frenzy, absolute frenzy. I suspected myself, Nicola White, I suspected the friend of like being with Paul or having an affair, but I didn't suspect the sister. But did you know that the sister went out with Paul before Nicola?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did know that.
Brendan, let me address Brendan. Is the music too loud? If it is, I'll go and turn it off.
I can hear music there, like a TV din in the mic.
Is it too loud? I'll go and turn it off. No, I'm just playing music in the other room.
Yeah, no worries.
I'll go and turn it off.
I'll play the video I've got as well of the sister. I'll do that if that's okay with you. Go and turn it down. So this is Nicola's sister and the family. It's 50 seconds. It's only 50 seconds long. See what you think. I thought that she was showing more emotion than the friend, Emma White. I'll just play that for you, if that's okay, guys.
I just can't, if I'm being honest, it feels like I'm just stuck in a nightmare. We're going round and round in circles trying to piece together what could have possibly happened. And we've just got to keep such an open mind with everything because we just have no idea where she is. It's like she's just vanished into thin air. There's no evidence to point us in any direction. Obviously, my hope is that she's still out there. Something's happened and she's, I don't know, needed to take herself off for whatever reason. And we just want her home. We need her home. Her children need a home. It's just absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, so put down in the comments what you thought initially. Nicola, that was about 2 weeks. So that's when they hadn't found the body by then. I thought she was more sincere than Nicola White, the friend. So that was Louise Cunningham. She apparently went out with Paul before Nicola. Is that strange or not? How young were they? Is that, has anyone had that? Yeah.
Can I address that video? If you look at the
Yeah.
video, if you just put the picture up again, look at the difference in her picture, if you like. Look at the difference in her. Oh, I can't think of the right word, which is never a good thing when you're on a live stream. But at
Yeah.
her persona, at her presentation, compared to Nicola's parents, they are absolutely distraught. They are devastated. Now, if you look at her, she's got a face of makeup. And although she's saying the right things, there is no emotion really behind what she's saying, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Thank you, Brendan. Thank you. I'm glad you can hear me better. This person here, we've still got a missing piece of the jigsaw. What was the missing piece that she had there? I don't know.
She was initially thinking that's Emma White, Nicola's friend. So she was initially thinking that Nicola went up the road somewhere away from the bench and up the road.
Another
And the
one with a
missus,
full face of makeup.
yeah, that's
Another one.
Emma. So that's why I sort of suspected her more so than the sister. But you're saying you suspect the sister of being having a lack of emotion on that video that you
Yeah,
just
but
saw.
look, maybe you guys don't notice it, but as a woman, I notice things, and I've studied so much true crime, and for this girl to be stood here with a full face of makeup, why is it important to her to look good when she's talking about her missing best friend? I don't get it. I certainly wouldn't be doing it. You'd have to see me in all my grots. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you're not. It's like these people's minds run very, very differently to genuine people. Or authentic people. That's what I'm trying to say. So, should we look at the comments again? Okay,
Yeah.
here she is again. Full. Look, even got the lashes on. Oh, I better put my lashes on because I'm going to be on the TV. Nah, sorry.
Also, Mark said that they did know that on the 19th of February there was going to be that tide that rose from the river. So Jason or the public might have known that the body may have been carried, if there was a body, down the river.
So how
That's
big?
interesting.
Right. Okay. All right. So let's look at this logically. How much water is it going to take to wash a body over this structure? Okay. How much? It's going to have to be quite a tsunami, isn't it? Really, if you think about it. So logically, is it possible that when this high tide or whatever happened, Nicola's body was washed over?
Yeah.
Is that possible? That's what you have to ask yourselves. Can we look at the comments again?
Yeah.
So Janet says, what I was told was that Paul wanted that lump sum of money. Okay. Nicky's money. He wasted all their money on his get rich quick schemes. She left him a weekend before she died. She was leaving him and knowing sorry, darling, I'm not reading your comments very, very well, am I? There was only one person missing in that river at the time. Okay. Louise moved in with Paul after to help with the children. I heard that she moved in before. There's also a little bit more information about the sisters. It was on the sister, Louise, is it? Is that her name? It was on the word of the sister that they tried to get Nicola sectioned. I think it was round about the Christmas the year before, maybe. They tried to get her sectioned because her mental health was bad. Has anybody in the chat heard about that? Yeah, Steve the Cop.
Yeah, I was just about to show you Steve's. Interesting. I heard that as well at the time.
So
that's so suspect.
Has anyone heard about Nicola's terribly bad mental health? Was it the year before, a couple of years before? And Louise's intervention, or Louise's attempt at getting her taken to the local mental health facility. Has anyone heard about that? Yes.
Yeah.
As Maggie says.
Yeah, I did.
Louise tried to get Nikki sectioned. Yes. Yes. And there's
this is real big stuff. It was at the time, and it is real big stuff. If the police can't see that that's not suspicious, I don't know what is. And especially the bit where she moved in afterwards to help the kids. I'm thinking it's Emma, but yeah, it all points to Louise as being the one. Something happened. I didn't know about the money. Joanne said about the money. Wow, that is.
I don't want to. I think we need to be careful about making,
assumptions.
Yeah, I really try not to do that, but I will speak of what I perceive to be suspicious circumstances. And when you look at the whole of the Nicola Bulley case, and I'm not just talking about her being found in the river, I'm talking about what happened in that woman's life before this happened. What were the family dynamics? Why did her little girl, when they got in the car that day, say something the arguing? Why are you still arguing? Why do you keep arguing, Mummy and Daddy? Something along those lines. I'm not here to make accusations because I'm not a professional police investigator. But as somebody who talks a lot about true crime, I think we are within our rights to pontificate, to speculate, and also to point out inconsistencies when we're told them online and when we see them. And I'm sorry, you put this face in front of me again, and I'm telling you, if I had gone missing and one of my family put up a picture like this of themselves, I don't think the other members of the family would be very happy about it.
No, it's strange. The faces that she's making, it's just odd. But even in the video, if you watch the video, then she was smirking and smiling then. But mind boggles. Did she know anything? We're pointing a finger at the sister, but did Emma know anything, or did something go on?
Yeah. No, it's not even. I'm not even looking at the expression because you've left the wording up there. You've left the text.
There we go. Let's get that off. I was saying, Alvin. Yeah. Alvin has raised a good point about the tides. Peter Faulding said a body doesn't move in a tidal river and tends to stay in one place. He says Peter says she couldn't have travelled a mile in 12 hours between tides. It's above my head. That is, Alvin, you know more than I do about that. That's above my head. All I know is she must have moved from one part to the other unless she was placed down the river somewhere from another point.
I think it's important to, we've discussed this, okay? We've discussed this.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, I think it's important to...
Yeah, no, so there was only one missing person in the river.
Yeah,
body falls in the
measurements. I want to look at Steve the Cockney, who is saying that Paul and Louise worked late. No wonder Nikki was tripping out. When do you mean? What do you mean by that, Steve? Do you think they were sort of working late and Nikki was left in the house and she thought they were together? What are your thoughts on that? That's because that's interesting. The jealous sister. Okay. Now, if you look at that, I've got to go back to this, right? Because I think I have to point this out to to Al. When you look at this,
Yeah.
this woman has a full face of makeup.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is the point I'm trying to make.
Yes.
It's not even her expression, because let's face it, you can stop the camera anytime. You can always,
Yeah.
she may not have been smiling when this picture was taken, but just looking at that face, it's not the face of a concerned best friend, and purely because of the makeup. Am I right, ladies, or should I drop this?
It is 2 weeks afterwards. Does that make any difference? Or
It makes no difference at all. That it makes it worse,
Yeah.
because 2 weeks on, how is she portraying herself? She's portraying herself as somebody. Oh yeah, my best friend's been missing for 2 weeks, so I'm going to talk to the camera and I'm going to have a whole face full of makeup. I'm going to put my lashes on. I'm going to do my under eye. I'm going to put foundation on. Yeah. Yeah, as Maggie says, yes, Jan, I said she's all dolled up. Exactly. She looks like she could be going out somewhere.
Yeah.
No, Steve, what are you saying there? Steve is saying maybe I've watched too many Nicola Bulley. No, you haven't. Not at all. And what you're contributing is really good, because it's giving us things to talk about. Right, can we go? I want to go all the way up to Alvin, who says that Peter Faulding said a body doesn't move far in a tidal river and tends to stay in one place. She could have travelled a mile in 12 hours between tides. Thank you, Alvin. I would go along with that. Definitely.
Yeah, but how? What are we concluding from that then? How did it get to where it got to? It was found there, and there was an unusual tide.
Okay, so it was found the other side of the weir, was it?
Yeah.
Do we know that?
You see, this is the capture nets that were put in a bit too late. So it got through them anyway. They didn't put those out early enough.
No, but
yellow catcher net.
We need to know exactly where she was found, and where Peter Faulding suspected she was.
Yeah, so here, this picture, hold on, this picture here, I'll put it back up there. Bear with, there we go. So can you see that, where the body was found, the red mark there, and the bench is here. See the bench there?
The bench. Okay, so where did Peter Faulding say that he discovered it?
It was 75 meters away, 75 meters away from the bench.
Right.
So
right. So Peter Faulding is saying that it hadn't gone over the weir, okay, and that he's got proof that she was actually found under the water, very close to the bench. So if that's true, how did it get to where the body is found there?
That's what Break the Ice was saying. That's what Break the Ice was saying. He thinks it's now.
Did somebody take her out and then put her back in again? I find that hard to believe.
Well, if it was confirmed of being her, the only way that she could have got the other side, as he's saying, is if it wasn't her. But it's been confirmed. The image is confirmed. 75 meters away from that bench, it was her.
I still see this is where, my mind's a bit confuddled because I just find it so hard to understand how a professional diver spots her body which is quite possibly her body, and didn't take her out of the water. I just, there's a big sort of red flag there for me.
Oh, definitely, definitely. There are red flags all over the place, especially that one. How did the body get over the weir? If the so-called expert is saying it couldn't, but
yeah, exactly. So I wish somebody would have a conversation with Peter Faulding and ask him what he believes actually happened. How did her body get to where the police supposedly found her?
Yeah. I've listened to 3 hours.
We need to look at what Stuart said. That picture of the bridge is not the bridge in the Bulley case. The bridge is silver, and no nets were ever put in the river. Thank you.
That's interesting. It came from the actual Nicola Bulley outlet, what they were putting out at the time.
Who was putting out?
Let's put that.
You have to think about
the
who's
press.
putting these.
The press.
Exactly.
Yeah. The press was putting out pictures. So are you saying that they're putting out a completely different picture? So they're confusing people and thinking that's the actual bridge that is at that river. That's odd. Let's see if I can get another
I'm saying
picture.
now, but I think it's interesting that Stuart should say that.
Yeah.
Stuart, can you enlighten us a bit more on that? How do you know that that's not the same bridge? The bridge is silver, and no capture nets were ever put in the river.
Let's have a look. Yeah, that's misleading, isn't it?
Alvin says people believing Peter found Nikki believe Nikki was put in the river the night before Peter died. Okay.
Yeah.
What? So they wanted Nikki to be found by Peter? What do you mean by that? Yeah, I mean, there is, if you think about it, that is a possibility, but it still doesn't explain how the official find was found the other side of the weir.
Yeah, I haven't got any other pictures of the bridge, but I've sort of seen another angle of the bridge, and it might have been a different colour. Can't remember. It's way back now. I've got loads of pictures, but that one's not there. Interesting. But yeah.
Yes, Maggie says he stated she categorically wasn't in the river at one point. I think I'm kind of thinking along the same lines, Maggie.
And Mark's saying the river came up over the weir, and that's when back out to sea, and that's what brought her over. It came up to the weir.
The river came up over the weir.
Over the weir.
Then
it was an unusual tide on that particular time, the 19th of Feb.
I don't know. I don't know much about workings of rivers and tides and everything. But by what you've said there, does that mean that she was washed over towards the sea, or what does that mean?
Well, if we go on the police narrative, that's what happened. That's what they're saying happened. But surely it's got to be looked into further. I need to know for sure whether the experts are saying it can happen or not happen. I think that somebody did an experiment, but the person to speak to. Yeah.
Thank you, Mark, for clarifying that. So Alvin says the river didn't come up over the weir. The figures were inflated by Lancashire Police. Oh, yes, I heard about something about that. Didn't they sort of have some sort of dummy run, for want of another word, where they showed what a body would do on the high tide?
But why
You
would
mu-
the police do that? Why would they
know.
inflate?
Well, to prove that the police would do that to prove that what they're putting out is right, is true,
Yeah, their
isn't it? That's
reputation's at
why.
stake. Yeah,
That's
their
right.
reputation's at stake, isn't it? As well as
Yeah.
Peter's. Yeah, I can get that. I might get that.
So did they film it? Did they show what happened? I've not actually seen that. If they showed that, I can't see how that would have any sort of confirmation about the validity of what they're saying. Check out Break the Ice Caravan Park storage area. Yes, I'm going to do that, Steve. I haven't got round to doing that just yet. So Alvin has said, oh, okay, all right. It's nice to see you guys talking in the chat. Okay, Steve says drowning victims don't have life jackets. Total bollocks. I think I would agree with that. So did they film it? Did anyone see a clip of them filming that? I've not seen it.
There is a film of the person walking through the river. That picture I've got up there. There's a video of that. They're walking through the river to show how the tide goes, etc. So that is on. I think that's Break the Ices has got that on his. He's got loads.
That's interesting, Maggie. Didn't they do it with a log, says DD64? I don't know. Yeah. Break the Ice is one of the gullible idiots who believes the caravan site wasn't searched for 2 weeks. Okay. That's your opinion, Yura.
Yeah, you're going to get difference of opinion in the chat anyway, so people are going to believe it.
Fine. That's perfectly fine. We're all going to think different. Brendan says the caravan park is sus. Yeah, she's an interesting character, isn't she? Alvin says PC Thackeray that died in the area said the river was flowing. Yeah, Faulding said he put a and it didn't move. Telling the truth. Conflicting stories.
Yeah.
This is why this case is very similar to the Jay Slater case. It's all about working out, whether the so-called facts are actually facts or whether they're just been, all packaged up in a nice little deal for us. And we just got to accept that. Yeah, just to fit their narrative. Jan, the audio is a bit muffled when you speak. Okay. See if I can do some. You carry on.
Yeah. So it's interesting. The characters involved in the Jay Slater case was MWT, Mark Williams Thomas, and James Adley. So James Adley carried out the same, and it was in the same county. Obviously Jay was in the same county as Nicola Bulley. It's just bizarre how the two are similar and the two characters involved are them two. And Mark Williams Thomas was his usual self. I don't want to diss the guy really because I've done that in the past, but yeah, the police. It is possible that the police are saving face, and they would they do something like that? Somebody would. Do you remember the policeman? And I've said it. Was it last week that the policeman actually passed away, and they're saying he died of natural causes? The policeman in charge of what was going on. That's interesting, isn't it? He was so stressed, very stressed as well. That's interesting. And then we did say about the vet. I couldn't find anything on the vet being how she died, etc. Being it was said that she was stabbed to death. The vet of the dog. No, but I couldn't find anything. Not anything solid anyway. It was just talk from a chat room, which I can't put out. I can't say that. I'll put that out. Yeah. So Mark, it was the first flood since she went missing. So no flood to the 19th. So the river was calm until then. So yeah. So 19th brought the river level up, didn't it? That's what I said. That's what I thought, that it went over the weir. That's why I thought the body that went over the weir. But there's contradictions in that, and Peter Faulding saying no. The police are sticking with what they say. But the red flags and the surrounding things all around it is crazy. Willow. Oh, I'm echoing there. I'm back. I'm okay.
I'm waiting for you to stop talking. Right, can you turn your mic off for a second?
Yeah.
Right, now, the problem is you went into my audio and put on my echo cancelling. Take care of yourselves out there.
Bye, Jan. Thanks. Am I back? I'm back. I'm not echoing now. Something in the settings, something that crossed over. It was going okay. So can anyone hear me? Am I back on now? Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, you can. What I will do, yeah, I'll get that mic sorted out for the next time. What I will do is in the week I'll probably do a talk on. Hold on. Charlie Kirk is coming up, I think, on the 30th of on the 30th of October. So I was going to do a bit of prep on that. I have there's another content creating going on in the crowd, etc. I picked up on the signaling on one of my videos, but she's got quite a lot there I need to have a look at. So I might do that in the week, probably Wednesday or Thursday, probably Thursday like last time. I'm not sure whether to put it out as a recorded or a live. It might go recorded because there's a lot there to look at. But yeah, thanks very much, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed it. It's been something to think about. So yeah, the Nicola Bulley case, as with Jay Slater, could talk about Jay Slater forever. Duncan's doing some work at the moment, some good work. He mentioned about the shoes. I know I wasn't going to talk about Jay's, but he mentioned about the shoes being different in the blanket picture, and they did have white marks on them, and it was, yeah, he wanted confirmation from somebody from the other group that do think it was an accident to try and explain that in some ways. But that's another story, and perhaps with Sarah Polton putting herself behind things in that case, it's going to be some production company that's going to listen to her and be interested in what she's got to say. But we will wait and see whether anything is going to come out and show a level type of playing field with a documentary rather than one side or another, because it could be the other side, it could be foul play side, but we want a bit of both, really. Well, I do anyway. But that's great. Anyway, thank you all for coming. Sheila as well. She disappeared. Is she still there? Yeah, Sheila. Nice to see you anyway. Nice to see everybody. And yeah, hour and 16. It was longer because it was going to be half an hour, then an hour. Now it's an hour and 16. So I won't rattle on. And when you go to bed tonight, as always, please don't have any nasty dreams. Night all. Thank you. Thank you, mods, as well. Really appreciate it. Thank you.